Hello everyone, this is Kushal. Today we are going to be discussing about red flags on Let's Get Real with Kushal, and we have with us Aditya today
Hi everyone.
and the cameraman who is going to nod. Start with what are red flags?
What are red flags? Red flags, according to me, are abnormal behaviors of a person that bring indifference in a relationship.
Okay, I'll just note that down. Was so
That's a very
insightful.
proper definition of
Yeah, so red flag is basically what you said, and they tend to damage the relationship you have with others people. Basically, we are not going to be getting in
narrowing it down
to relationships. We are
Uh-huh.
going to be talking about friendships. We are just going to be speaking about people in general.
In general.
What do you consider is the most red flag one person could possess?
I think, according to me, the biggest red flag is not being emotionally available.
I mean, you stole that from me, but yeah, why would you?
Why not?
Why would you consider that to be the reddest of them all?
I think because, be it any kind of relationship,
Yeah.
it's all built on the basis of how emotionally available the person is.
Emotionally available and how well you connect emotionally.
Exactly.
It's not that you're emotionally available, the other person is emotionally available, you're suddenly friends or you're suddenly in a relationship or something of that sort.
No.
You have to connect with them
Yeah.
on an cellular level.
Yeah.
Might sound very sciencey, but you should connect to them on a cellular level for that relationship to be nice and healthy.
So, if I am here, listening to you pour your heart out,
Yeah.
I want you to do the same thing for me.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing that, that's a red flag. Like if you run away the moment I start getting real,
Yeah, some people tend to do that.
they do that, and it's a red flag. It's
That's
a
a
big
deal
red flag.
breaker.
It's a major red flag.
That's a deal breaker of some sort.
Yeah, it
to
is.
be honest.
And a red flag.
And it's a very the thing is that emotional unavailability is so vast of a thing that if consider the fact that I'm emotionally available, but I don't have the capacity to understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
For the person to understand, and you might listen to the other person endlessly, but for you to say something or tell them at that point something that moves them, you have to have the emotional maturity to move the other person. Like, you have to know what the other person is talking about. You have to know what is right, what is wrong. You have to be very insightful. You have to be cautious of the factors the other person is. You have to put yourself in the other person's shoes and see to it what they aren't able to see.
Yeah.
It's always that you yourself won't realize things, but if there was somebody very close to you, for a matter of fact, I'll tell you, if I am going through something and I generally know what the solution to it is. If you were going through it, like if you poured your heart out and told me that I'm going through something which I am actually going through, I'd have solutions for you, and I'd tell you certain things which you're blindsided. You have to sometimes switch to the third eye.
Yeah.
You have to look at the things from the other person's view, and be insightful, move them, and give to them what is needed at that point of time. Emotional availability is all about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just
Definitely.
being like at some point you are here and you are being grumpy, you're having a bad day. If you are just listening to it, it's very well and good, you have the intent to it. But if you don't have anything else to contribute, what happens is there are things which make sense and which don't make sense. Usually what happens is, when people are in a romantic relationship, it doesn't matter what the other person says. What matters is it is coming from them. That is a red flag. That is a big red flag. Like, if example, you are going through something I'll give you a clear example. You're going through something, you're having a very bad day, you're having a very bad week, you're going through an emotional spiral, and you go to your partner and talk to them, and you get consoled because your partner consoled you, not because they told you something that moved you, or they told you something that made sense.
Yeah.
Usually what
I get
happens
it.
is, oh, they consoled me. It's like they consoled me. If example, you came to me and I had told you the same thing which your partner had told you, you'd be like,
won't be
what the hell is
it's
this guy
not the-
speaking
It's
about?
not having the same effect on me.
Yeah, and you aren't moved.
It's
You
not
are
about what is
unaffected.
being said, it's about
Who
who's saying
who
it.
is it coming from? That's a big red flag.
Yeah.
For a relationship to work or anything to work, you have to rely upon what content the other person is giving to you. Content is a wrong word, but what
We get it.
yeah, so what is being said should be focused upon more than who's it coming from. And that's another big red flag, because people are obsessed and don't see that the other person is not making sense. It just, what matters to them at that point is, the other person told me this, I should be consoled at this point of time.
Yeah.
That's a big red flag.
Another red flag is running away from having serious conversations.
That's a very, very big red
That's
flag.
a big red flag. Like, every time this person finds an excuse not to have this particular conversation.
Yeah, you just avoid certain things, which isn't very, which is very unhealthy, to be honest.
Yeah, and it isn't very mature of you to, run away from things like that.
Yeah, maybe if you're in your 12th grade, it's fine, but
you're not.
Yeah, but you're not. And when you are an adult, if you don't, you have to. I mean, you have to have the ability to compromise when you are having a dispute of some sort. But running away from that dispute as a whole and being all nice is a very uncomfortable position to be in. That's all I can say about that.
What's your take on past trauma?
Past trauma is such a heavy.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's such a huge, like Aditya said, it's such a huge factor which impacts you as a person, and be it anything, it affects you so much. And for a matter of fact, you tend to project it, as my friend Pratham says. You tend to project certain things when you're going through something. When you've gone through something, and you haven't dealt with it really well, you tend to project it on somebody who is not responsible for the things that you have been hurt of, or what you're feeling.
What you're going through.
You usually tend to project things which the other person has nothing to do with it.
Yes.
And you go and bust it out on them. It just doesn't make sense for them and for you.
What did I do?
Yeah, and it's like you have to deal with it well, and you have to realize that what should I say? Like if you have to deal with it well, you have to accept the fact that it was just one person who did that to you, whatever that happened, and it was just one person's opinion and not the actual case. Like, you have to be willing to accept the fact that it was just a one person thing. You have to accept it for you to actually move on from it.
You know what's one thing I take from past trauma is, and I have a feeling that you'll disagree with this, that for example, if I went through something bad, like if I got cheated on, for example, I didn't. If I did,
did you?
So if I got cheated on, what I'll do is I'll prepare myself to be ready to be cheated on another time. So the next time I'm in a relationship with a different person, I have prepared myself very well because I've already dealt with it in the past. This may come. It's not me judging that person, or it's not me thinking that this person may cheat on me. It's not, because this is a different person and I am giving my all to this relationship. But I'm also ready if that
That's just
unforeseen
you ready
thing
to be
comes.
feeling nostalgic. That's just you ready to be, you know, going through this thing you've already gone through. That's just you can't be ready to it. You can just get used to it and this sounds
I got
so
it. No.
that this sounds
No.
so yucky when
Not-
taken out of context.
Yeah.
But you can't get used to it, you can't be ready to it. You just have to have the you know, the hope, or what can I say, you just have to be willing to hope that this person doesn't turn out to be the same as the person who did that to you in the past. Just not it might not just be about cheating or anything. It might
Any
be the
kind of-
other person poking through your insecurities. It might be bringing out the worst part of you and judging you for it.
For it.
And it's
You made me do this.
Yeah.
Why are you judging now?
It usually happens that you tend to, you know, open up in front. You tend to open up the worst parts of
Yeah.
yourself.
Oh yeah, you know, this is also a red flag. The fact that they use things that you've told when you know when
You're
you
very
were very
vulnerable.
vulnerable against you. Like
Yeah.
That's
And
a
using it
huge-
against you in an argument, or using it to judge you.
exactly.
Even worse.
Like
even
bringing
worse.
that up is a
Like-
is a it's not done.
It is
Not
very it is very you know, normal that we humans aren't perfect.
cool.
And everyone has a part that they don't wish they had. Get my point? Like, you wish that some part of you didn't exist, and when you let it out, you're being vulnerable.
Yeah.
And you're being vulnerable, and you tend to do it in a safe place,
Safe space. Yeah.
just for you to let it out and be it out, let it be out there, and for you to get comfortable with the other person. You let it out, and you just cannot use it against the other person to, you know.
Exactly. It's not like I meet someone on the streets and I'm like, hey, come here, I want to talk to you about my insecurities.
I want to talk to you about my deepest flaws. and
Exactly. I
deepest
do that. I do
insecurities.
that in front of the people I put my trust in.
Yeah,
And-
exactly. People I trust the most,
Yeah,
not trust
exactly.
in. You don't tend to open up each and everything about yourself in front of
People I just hardly trust.
even your close friends,
Yeah.
for that matter.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you open up, and if you do, there is a fair chance that the other person might turn out to be an ass, and you know, judge you for it, or
He's very against using those words, although I find it very normal.
yeah, because my family is going to watch probably. So yeah. And what another thing which came to my mind when you were speaking about what were you speaking about? Sorry, I zoned out. What were you speaking about?
That is a red flag.
Yeah.
Zoning out,
Yeah, we'll get to it later. What were you speaking about? Emotional?
unavailability.
Yeah, and what I tend to what I've gathered from the time I've been on this planet is that, you know, emotional vulnerability is also a green flag. Like, people who are
Yeah, vulnerability is.
emotional.
Unavailability isn't.
No. I mean, emotional. They are what's the right term I'm searching for at this point of time? They aren't vulnerable.
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
If you aren't vulnerable in front of me,
Yeah.
I'll be like, what?
This might not come as a red flag to you as if you are looking for a friend. For a friend, it's just a matter of time before the ice breaks, I guess.
Yeah.
Or you might keep it to yourself because you aren't comfortable letting that part of you, you know, sharing it with your friends. You know, sharing that part with your friends. But what is a red flag is you being emotionally not vulnerable, because being vulnerable is
One
The-
factor that defines
is the same
fact
as
that
is the same as being emotionally available.
yeah, exactly.
If you aren't vulnerable, if you shield yourself from things, if you tend to, you know,
My nose is very itchy. Okay.
you tend to keep certain things away because people have hurt you in the past, people have judged you for it in the past, and you tend to keep it away. It's a big red flag. Just because people in the past have done it doesn't mean that the people who are with you or will be
with you in the near future are gonna do the same.
Yeah,
But
you
again,
you putting a shield, tends to get in the way of the relationship growing.
yeah.
People tend to put a big shield just because they don't want to get hurt or
Yeah.
don't want to put that side out. I don't know. That's just being emotionally unavailable for me.
What about being manipulative?
Manipulative. I know.
A certain person.
A certain number of people, not
Okay.
not certain person, but yeah, manipulative is the worst kind of I mean, all of these red flags
Are
we
the
are
worst.
speaking of are the worst.
It's not like a competition to be the better one. It's like they're all worse.
Yeah, exactly. And manipulative is very, very. All of these other red flags are different, but if you are in a relationship or if you are in a friendship which is where the other person is manipulative, there might be a fair chance that you don't even know that the other person is manipulative.
There is, and the worst thing about being in a relationship with a manipulative person is that eventually you lose yourself.
Exactly.
You're not-
exactly.
you're not-
that was my point, to be honest. That's where I was heading.
Yeah.
And what usually happens is you tend to get lost and you become this whole other person.
Yeah.
Where you lose the essence of yourself, where you lose your core, what you stood for doesn't really matter.
How do you know? How will you? Yeah. And I asked you, how will you find out that this person is being manipulative? Because
Yeah, exactly. I was answering that question, and to that there is no right answer as such. It's like how will you move on? It's like asking a person, how will you move on? There is some sort of deal breaker for each and every person, which is very, very unique and very, very personal to that relationship or whatever it may be. And it's like asking how will you move on. It's because people tend to move on, but people tend to move on for a whole different set of reasons. Like there is this deal breaker and you have certain reasons for you to move on, but you just won't be able to do that.
Yeah.
But there will be this thing which will change it for you, which will act like a catalyst, and it will tend to put it as a which will help you overcome the ability for you to not to do so. And same with the manipulative thing, you tend to lose out. First thing you realize is you're losing out on friends. You're losing out on friends who have who are well wishers to you, who have who will, like, I've seen people like the genre you are speaking about, manipulative people, the ones who are controlling, possessive, and they are such freaks. I tell you, they tend to even manipulate your friends.
Yeah.
And the environment that revolves around you.
Yeah.
Like it's like they are so good, they could be in the government. Like they tend to manipulate you so much that you are manipulated to your last very cell. Like the whole world which revolves around you,
Yeah.
your environment, your friends, be it your well-wishers, be it your parents, be it everything, they are so controlling. They tend to have a effect on your friends too. The amount you cannot even visualize the amount of manipulation or the effort that goes through it. I mean, it might sound funny, but it's so unhealthy and so very toxic.
Yeah.
It's just it's very hard to even visualize things going that way. And if you need to, there isn't any small thing which will lead you to realize that you are in that place.
It's always the third person, okay? It's always like this person coming and telling you or like letting you know that you're being manipulated. Dude, this guy's manipulating you.
And
And then you're like, am I?
Usually
being
what happens
manipulated?
is, I know of certain people who cut those people off just because they didn't agree with them.
Yeah, it's like
They are manipulated to
Got
such
it.
extent
Yeah.
that even if I am
you're letting me know.
For example, a person A has manipulated you and you are being manipulated, and you are in that rut, and you haven't even figured it out yet that you are being manipulated. And I come and tell you, I'm a well-wisher, I'm a friend.
Yeah.
We are friends for some time,
Yeah.
and I tell you that no, this is not what it's supposed to be. This
You're
is
being-
turning out to
yeah.
be toxic. This
And
is taking a toll on you.
And what do? I go to the person that's manipulating me and be like,
You
today
know
I
who-
unfriended someone.
Yeah, today, you know what did he say? He said that you're manipulating me. I cut him off. I blocked him.
Kushal's finally being sassy.
Yeah, I mean, people tend to do that, and it is at a very, very late point of time that they realize that they were dumb enough to not see it at that point of time.
They realize that when they have become an extension of that person. They
Yeah,
have become
exactly.
a shadow of that person.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
It
like
is so toxic, Kala. It just makes me vomit the
Don't.
amount. No, I will not, because this is a very expensive setup. And,
Ecosystem, Apple.
Yeah, so it just is very, very toxic to be
Yeah.
there. Not a good place to be. And usually, what Bollywood movies and what people around us have glorified, TV shows, Bollywood movies, and factors which influence us as a whole. What they've glorified is being bad is cool.
Yeah. Okay. We've moved on to the next red flag.
Yeah.
Bad equals cool. Not
No.
cool.
And the fact that you are a bad boy, or whatever they call that.
I'm not.
I'm sure you're not, sir. Good, sir.
But I get it, dude. Like some people honestly don't even like that thing. This trend that's going on about like this thing where you like bad people and you are cool. Some people don't even comply with it, but they just do that to sound cool again.
Yeah,
like
sounds cool, no?
Yeah,
Be cool.
to be cool. Yeah, to be cool. Like it's like what kind of guys do you like? I like bad guys. Fuck you. It's not a good
To
thing.
whip it out. Huh. Yeah. So then again, I mean, it is who are these bad people? They are again the combination of all of these red flags as a whole: manipulative, controlling, jealous.
I mean, it just
emotionally
sounds nice.
unavailable.
Yeah, it may sound right now. It may sound cool to you. Like if I'm telling, like I like bad guys,
Yeah,
bad
yeah,
girls.
and
And
it-
oh wow, it's so cool. Oh what? You like a guy who controls you? You like a guy who hits you all day? What? What
That
is?
abuse is something
Yeah.
very different, and you
No, but
have
still,
to
what's
not
bad?
be in an abusive relationship. Takes a very, very big mental toll on you, and it's just a bad place to be, man.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for whoever. You tend to let it happen
I
until
don't
you
even know
stop.
why I keep smiling in between. This is a very
Very
dark
yeah,
conversation.
heavy and dark
and
conversation.
maybe I'm just toning it down.
Yeah, and usually what happens is you tend to be in that place as long as you let yourself be in that place. Once you stop, it might take you 2 or 3 chances for you. It might seem hard for you because you try to compensate it with, no, he's a good person, he's been through so
Yeah.
much, he's not like that, he's so caring, he's so that, this, and you don't get to
It's like,
compensate it.
bro, this person hit you, but he also kissed me immediately after.
How can
But
you?
he did hit you.
Exactly. It's not that you can compensate it the one with another and be cool with it and justify it. You don't need to justify relationships.
You know.
If you are in a healthy relationship, you
You
don't
don't
need justifying.
justification.
And the argument won't
Yeah.
come up if you are in a healthy relationship.
What about being jealous? And I'm not talking about the sweet jealous, like
Sweet-
proper
there is
jealous.
sweet jealous
Oh, yeah,
and
there's
proper jealous.
jealousy, sweet jealousy.
Okay. And there is you jealousy. Joe Goldberg.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, as long as it's there is a boundary to it, it's fine. As long if it keeps getting out of proportion, it's like what can I say?
Why would a well-wisher be jealous of
It's
something
just bringing
good
out
that has
their-
happened to me?
No, it's just them being insecure about it. I feel it a
Oh,
big part
yeah,
of
maybe.
big part of
Good
being
point.
big part of being jealous is just about you getting insecure about yourself.
Yeah, it's actually
you
yeah, exactly. When you do something successful with your life and you share that with me, I'm not sad because you've accomplished something. I'm sad because I didn't do that.
Yeah, that's just you being healthy and normal. That's a normal thing for you to feel.
Exactly.
But you wishing that something that good must not have happened to
him
me
is a red flag.
Jealousy,
Is a
toxic
red
jealousy.
Being disrespectful.
Yeah, being disrespectful is also a big red flag. I don't really understand all of the things they are speaking about are big red flags, and I don't think I'd choose one over the other. If you had to choose having a partner or a friend with
one of these,
it's really hard. I thought there were small red flags and there were big red flags, but most of these tend to
okay, just to tone this down, there's one nice. Thanks for directing me towards the mic.
That's what she said.
Check.
Tell me.
So one negligible, just to tone it down, because you told that all of these are serious red flags. I think leaving you on scene is a red flag, but then it can be like neglected.
Like as long as we are talking about lame red flags or whatever you want to call.
I mean, because I leave people on scene a lot of times, and most of the times I do that without the knowledge of.
You've done that to me multiple number of times.
To justify, I do that without the knowledge of knowing that I'm doing it. Like
That's just you being ignorant and blaming it on the ignorance part.
But yeah, that can be ignored.
Yeah, that can be. As long as we are talking about lame
like
red
you
flags.
say something and then I see that, I've probably not replied because I just opened the inbox and then I just
went away
or something like that. And then if you like come back and hey, where are you? I'll reply to that. So no big deal.
It is so sweet of you to justify you being ignorant and being a shitty texter.
I was just toning it down, dude. Okay, fine. Let's go back
as
to being serious.
serious.
Let's talk about being disrespectful and looking down. Disrespectful.
Yeah, and as long as we are talking about lame red flags, I have one more lame red flag is not texting good morning. I mean, that's a lame red flag to me personally.
Okay, I mean, for me that's a necessity. I text my best friend good morning and good night every single day.
Okay, I'm not your best friend then.
Oh, I just outed myself. So if I don't get a reply, I panic. And if I don't
glad to know that I'm normal. Or we are both abnormal.
Or if I don't do that, I feel what is wrong with me? Why did I say this?
Exactly.
So
it's usually a sign that something's not right. Or something of that sort.
Wait, I didn't wish good morning today. Maybe my day wasn't
that
nice.
Good
or something like that.
That's weird, but it's a part of
a
negligible lame red flags.
Yeah.
You have these personalized red flags also.
It's not
some things which are important to you, but might not seem important to others.
These red flags that we spoke about,
is pointing out to the list we've made.
They apply to everyone.
Yeah, these are usually serious and big red flags you should be aware of, but these are just you shouldn't call them cute because they are red flags, but people tend to call red flags also, they tend to label it as cute. And you have these personalized things, like if you want a best friend, if you have a best friend, or if you want a partner, it's you have these sort of criterias that the person needs to fill, the thing you said, the good morning thing or the texting thing, or all of these personalized things which one person expects from the friend or the partner or whosoever it may be. And we were speaking of after all, you have these personalized red flags and you expect these. That's just the criteria of it. And let's speak about the thing you mentioned earlier about being disrespectful and your friends or partners or whosoever it may be, looking down on you as such and bringing you down and putting a hole on your self-esteem, self-worth and confidence. And I mean, how does it? Why would it affect you? if somebody,
is being disrespectful.
yeah,
It's not about somebody being disrespectful.
Exactly.
It's about this particular person being
who
disrespectful. Who it is.
whose opinion does matter to me,
Exactly.
who I value,
Exactly.
who I see as a friend, who I see as a partner,
I mean,
or whatsoever it may be.
Yeah.
But yeah, you tend to take stuff and that affects you because you are close to them
Yeah.
and you value their opinion and you have certain respect towards
Everyone,
them.
like, see, people will have different opinions about a particular thing. For example, if something comes up and like I have a different view about it and you have a different view about it, we have to reason with
Why?
each other.
Yeah, justify
exactly.
it.
We have to reason with each other, and we have to come to a common ground about that, about why we have such different views about this particular thing.
You are just
can't-
narrowing it down to views.
Exactly.
But yeah, you might have some opinion, I might have another opinion, and
but
it's,
that doesn't-
it's all right. Like you are
exactly.
supposed to have your own voice, and I'm supposed to have my own voice. It's not that you have to agree with what the other person has to say, and you have to respect the other person's
But-
opinion also.
yeah.
But
But when you-
disrespecting the person is a
Exactly.
big
It's like-
a big red flag. Like you can disrespect the person's opinion if it's lame and the other person might not be able to see it at that point of time, but as long as you're not disrespecting the person as a whole, like you are like this,
Yeah.
you're so dumb,
Exactly.
you're so this, you're not like
getting it, just
a
putting
hole
them
on-
down.
yeah, and that's a big red flag. Like you not respecting their opinion and views is just part of it. Like
It's still being disrespectful, by the way. But
not really. I don't feel that way.
Okay.
But yeah, we are having a disagreement about who should feel what in an argument or an conversation. Yeah. So that's all.
Yeah.
These are all the red
Yeah.
flags. I guess these are all the red flags. And
I think we've covered
tend-
most of the red flags.
Yeah,
I mean,
I have to talk about how important communication is.
Yeah, it's very important. What?
Yeah, like you have a person or you have a partner or you have a friend who is not, like I tend to have seen people's relationships, friendships go down because they did not communicate well. And
Big
what usually happens is, like you have this bond and you tend to share this stuff and you used to share this bond in all sorts of relationships. The graph tends to go high low and as such, and when it is on a low, you are like, you justify it by saying that why. I usually ask a friend of mine or whosoever it may be that why didn't you share it with the other person. It's like it's not the same as it was. Harry Styles. But yeah, it's not the same as it was. Like people need to have the continuation and you need to share that one. It's not necessary that for you, when you are on a low, it's not necessary that it must be the same like as it was when it was on a high. The relationship or the friendship was on a high. You can't expect it to be the same. And people need to get it around their head that it won't be. I mean, it's all ups and downs, and when you're on a down and you don't communicate well, just because Hangila, it's not the same. How do I say that to him? We don't share the same bond anymore. And it's like you have to put in the effort and talk it out. What usually happens is people tend to leave stuff out. Like they see that there is a barrier that this person might not receive it well, or they are just too uncomfortable talking about it. That's why being a good listener is also a very good green flag, and not being a good listener is a very big red flag. Because you have to be always open to what the other person's views and feelings are. If you don't appreciate it and get the best out of them and the worst out of them, and you have to be a catalyst of some sort. Like it's there in them, and you have to pull it out by what do I say, I'm not getting the word, by pumping them up or appreciating them. I'm not getting the right word.
Got it. But yeah, we get
you have to be appreciative
meaning
of them.
We get where you're going.
And you have to get the what's actually in them and what's bothering them. so that the void or whatever the problem is solved as such. Like if you, and I've seen people being in a uncomfortable position because they left out half the stuff. It's like there is a problem and they've
Yeah.
just discussed 70%
Some
of
of
it,
it.
and there's this 30% problem which is now a big
Which is just
100% problem.
Yeah.
Like this is a
It
new
grows
problem
in-
in whole,
it's a- yeah, it
and
becomes
just
a
because I
problem.
have not discussed it with him or her, and I'm like, I'm uncomfortable, he might not receive it well. And you tend to, you have to be a good listener at the end of the day. There's no other option for it to happen. You have to have a sense of perspective, like the other person's perspective, and you have to know why they feel what they feel. It might be because all of the past things or past relations or anything,
Yeah.
and what factors affect it, and you have to try and sort it out. Like you can't just leave it at that, and there is a whole void and you just avoid it and be cool with it. It's like these uncomfortable topics or problems are going to be there, and you just cannot avoid them as such.
Yeah.
That's a part of being emotionally available, and also being a good communicator and a good listener.
It's a
It's a
plays
basic
a big
aspect.
role in
It's
a
a
healthy
basic
relationship.
aspect. You have to have that emotional and mental maturity to speak about this kind of stuff and be open about it. I'm confused seeing the way you are smiling at. Okay, it's all cool. And what else did we miss? I don't think we missed anything.
I don't think we've missed anything major at least.
Yeah. So yeah, let's end this, and
It's a
thank
wrap.
you for being a lovely audience. Please like the video or the podcast wherever you're watching it. Share it with your friends if you're if you have learned something or if you have found something insightful in this. And let us know on what we can improve on, or on what we can speak
Oh,
about.
and mention any red flags that we've left out in the
Yeah.
comment section.
And-
I can't do this like.
Yeah. Please do that and keep it running in the comments, and please do follow Aditya on Instagram or wherever he is available.
I'm omnipresent.
Tinder. No, he's not on Tinder.
Yeah.
Or maybe he is. Please do find him.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
We're just hoping that the series keeps getting better, and the quality of the content that we've provided keeps getting better. And yeah, that's it. I mean, we have to start somewhere, and we've started with red flags.
We'll end this. Not ending it soon is also a red flag. Yeah.
Boy.
Goodbye.